What's good, everybody? It is Tuesday, November 15th, 2022. This is your daily sports betting brand of record. We are powered, as always, by the almighty SportsLine, the best value in all of sports betting, and it is not close. So last night we talked about it on Early Edge Live that the game script should be the Commanders running all over the Eagles. Well, what did they do? They passed all over the Eagles. That's why we were 7 up, 7 down. Lost some juice. I am disappointed in myself that Taylor Heineke decided to have that one long pass, and the Eagles, they got exposed. But today starts our new week. You know, here at the brand, we never take a day off. So later today at 4 p.m. Eastern time, Early Edge in 5. Then at 4:30, the most important NFL hour of the entire week, our Week 11 mega preview with M Squared, Maestro, and the stoic one, R.J. White. But this is about the here and the now. And this is the start of our week on a Tuesday. So what do I do for all of you at home? Oh, look at the stars of the show that I have today. Bring them in. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, you can see her at 6 p.m. Eastern every single weeknight. She is the anchor of SportsLine. Katie Mox, welcome back to the Early Edge.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I will say I was on the right side last night. I had the Commanders plus 11, but you can never really be satisfied because I was like, why didn't I take them money line? But it was a good win.
Well, it was a good win. And I was telling myself, because I was on the Eagles side, I said, if they're going to not cover, they better lose too. Because me and Prop Stars have a bet on the Eagles and the Chiefs winning games. So there's always a game, Katie, within the game. Here, here at the Early Edge.
D-Gens will be D-Gens.
Oh, a new saying on the show. Okay. You know how we work. All right, next, he is live from Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada. He was also on the Eagles side last night, too. Zach, good morning.
Good morning. I was on the Eagles side for the show. Should have gave out some college basketball. I know they were wanting it yesterday. I actually went 3-1 in college basketball. I had to stay up late to get that Yale, but went 3-1. I was actually going to have 3 plays today on today's show. I had South Dakota State bookmarked, -4, had the write-up and everything ready for the show. While I'm watching the Yale game, it goes up to -5.5. This morning, it's -7 against St. Bonaventure. So definitely a bad opening line on that one.
Well, that's why we're here at 10 a.m. for those line movements or in our favor. That's why we're here. That's why you're here. And also the man, you're talking NBA, you're talking the association, you're talking Mikey B. Mike Barner. Good morning, sir.
Morning. Yeah, we had quite a sweat last night. All of us SportsLine subscribers. I had Pistons plus 4.5. They lose by 4. So you got to love those. A win's a win.
Yeah, I had him +4. Not.
Oh, no.
So at least I had a push. You know what I'm saying? But nobody lost on the Pistons, which was nice. Nice. All right, let's get into it. We got a busy show today. Storylines that could affect the betting lines. And, Zach, I'm starting with you because there is such an interesting Chick-fil-A nugget this morning on the Mavericks that I almost couldn't even believe it when I read it. Start us off.
Yeah, they are the second worst team ATS-wise in the NBA. Only the Miami Heat are worse, and the Dallas Mavericks. The Miami Heat last night had another gut-wrenching non-cover last night when Devin Booker got blocked by Jimmy Butler, got the ball back again, got the shot up, blocked again by Jimmy Butler. So the Suns covered that. But the Dallas Mavericks are 0-5-1 ATS their last 6 home games. You say, they have to be losing, right? No, they won 5 straight home games. So that just tells you the number has been perfect against them. Just the way they're setting the odds on them, they're still winning games. So they're a team you may want a money line, but actually today could be a good spot for them to actually cover. They're facing a Clippers team that's in a back-to-back spot because they played the Rockets last night, and they won pretty convincingly by double digits.
Yeah, and a big reason for this storyline, the reason that this is happening, is because they've got the ultimate ball handler and the man who controls pace better than anybody in the NBA, and I'm talking about Luka. But Mikey B, Luka is now running into a Clippers team, as Zach just said, that's pretty good on the defensive end. Talk to me.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy stats from Luka. He leads the league in points per game and usage rate. His usage rate is 39.1%, which is just crazy. Weird thing is he's only shooting 28.6% from behind the arc. He's a career 33.5% shooter there. So he could actually improve in that area. This is going to be a good test tonight. The Clippers have the second best defensive rating in the league. So can they hold down Luka? We'll have to see.
No, that's quite the question. And I guarantee you we'll have more NBA picks today on Early Edge in 5 at 4 p.m. Eastern time as well. But as you know, on Tuesdays, it's never too early to look ahead to Thursday night football. And the hardest thing to do, Katie, in the NFL is run the ball when everybody knows that you're going to run the ball. And the Titans do that anyway. What is a storyline with Derrick Henry that we can sink our teeth into?
Yes, well, Derrick Henry's quest for the rushing title, it picks up in Green Bay this week. So there's a lot of history at stake for King Henry this season. He's on track to join Jim Brown as the only players in NFL history with 100 rush yards per game in 4 straight seasons. He can also become the 3rd player of all time to lead the NFL in rush yards per game in 4 straight seasons. You got Jim Brown and Steve Van Buren, both have 5. So this is a great opportunity for Henry to regain the NFL rushing yards lead in Green Bay against a Packers defense that ranks 28th in rush yards allowed this season. Saquon Barkley is the current leader at 931 yards. Next is Henry at 923. So very, very close. Henry's yard prop for TNF, it's set to 97.5. I have seen the over juiced all the way up to -131. Best odds currently for the over are on DK and BetMGM at -115. Also worth noting the current odds for the rushing title at Caesars. Well, it's Henry at +230, followed by Saquon Barkley at +260, Chubb at +300, and everyone else at +1,000 or higher.
Did you all just notice? She didn't look down one time. Are you kidding me right now? Educate and entertain me, Katie Mox. Educate and entertain me, Katie Mox. All right, now let's get into our board for the day. Because you know our motto here at the Early Edge. We just want to win more than we lose. We live in reality. And the reality is sometimes you lose games. That's the way it goes. But today is a new week. And we've got one play from SportsLine itself. And if you're not a SportsLine member yet, what in the world are you doing? I'm going to give you 30 days. How about 30 days for free? Use the promo code EARLY. Come and check all my cappers, all the simulations, all the articles, everything. Then after that, how much am I going to charge you? Well, I'm only going to charge you $10 a month. Stop it. You did that at Starbucks this morning. So today we're going to go to the ice. Last night, Allie hit the Islanders very nice on the money line. So who do we like tonight? We like the Maple Leafs on the money line. This time it's from our man, Jeff Hockman. Jeff Hockman, never on the show, but always on the show, if you know what I mean. And we'll take that at -115. That game starts at 7 p.m. Eastern time. All right, Zach, tonight, it's a Tuesday. Tonight, we're sinking our teeth into college basketball. But if I know you, like I think I know you, you're always looking ahead as well. What do you got?
Yep, we got a Thursday night prop and a college basketball play. We'll start with college basketball. I'm going to make everybody stay up late like I did last night. Another 8 o'clock start my time. So if you're on the East Coast, you're going to have to be up past 11 o'clock. I'm going to go with Dayton -4.5 against UNLV. This is going to be on CBS Sports Network. And this is Dayton's first true road trip of the season. You're always going to get value on that. But I like the makeup of this team. Coach Anthony Grant already has his rotation solidified. 6-man rotation. Usually you would say you want to play more players, but I like a solidified rotation. And they are a young group. They start 3 sophomores, 1 freshman, and they're controlling the paint. Deron Holmes is average. He's had 5 blocks his last game against SMU. And Tamari Kamara, he is number 1 in the country in rebounds, averaging 14.5 rebounds per game. If you can control the glass, control the paint with blocks, I like their edge on the road, -4.5 against UNLV. And then a Thursday night football prop, Robert Woods. I know I haven't hit the past couple Thursday night prop, but we're going to break that this week with Robert Woods over 33.5 receiving yards, -103. Woods has been quiet just because the Titans have had that one-dimensional ground game with Derrick Henry, but of course that had a lot to do with Malik Willis starting, Ryan Tannehill's health. And then the Denver Broncos didn't move the football. So they've had that game script where they haven't really had to push the football down the field. That ends this week. We saw Aaron Rodgers finally push the football against the Dallas Cowboys. So I'll take his over. Robert Woods, 33.5 receiving yards.
Who knew? Who knew that if you open up the playbook, all of a sudden Aaron Rodgers can do something? Little Birdie told me he's a pretty good quarterback. Open up that playbook. Now, timing is everything here on the Early Edge. And sometimes even those with the biggest egos can learn a little something. So up next is our resident expert / capper / host, Katie Mox. But in the chat, because he just couldn't help himself, is our man Buckets, the anti-American Buckets, who yesterday on our World Cup preview show, which is in your feed right now, I encourage you to go watch it, He picked against the United States of America.
Oof.
I know, Katie. I felt the same way. Thank you. Thumbs down for buckets. Oh, that might be something new. I like that. Thumbs down for buckets. Now,
I love buckets, I'll just say.
What was that?
I do. I love buckets. I don't like that he's anti-American. For that play, I believe he is actually very American. But just thumbs down on going against the USA.
Wow. Apparently, you and the chat are coming at me now. They say, Coach, maybe I'm a little bit too harsh. But my point was that buckets comes in to watch how a pro does it on the early edge, how a pro delivers it on the early edge. Watch and learn, buckets. Katie, you're up.
All right. I've got two early plays for TNF this week. We got the Packers versus the Titans. First one, I'm going to I'm going to take the under 42 standard juice there, minus 110. So Rodgers appeared to re-aggravate his injured thumb on that strip sack in the second quarter in that Packers win versus the Cowboys. He was a non-participant in Monday's practice, but we've seen that before. He's definitely going to play. However, it's still a short week, and Rodgers is not going to have enough time to heal up before TNF, which means the Packers will likely rely on their ground game against the Titans. Now, this worked on Sunday. The Pack had over 200 rushing yards and scored 31 points. However, Tennessee's defense has been outstanding, allowing just 18.7 points per game. They've also been very stingy against the run, with just 85 yards per game allowed on the ground this season. Now, we do know that Thursday night games are lower scoring than the average NFL game, an inevitable result of a short week, no rest, less preparation. The under is 7-2 in Tennessee games this season, 6-0 in their last 6 games. It's still 42 on Caesars. I've seen this bet down to 41.5 with most books. So if you like that under, I would go ahead and grab it now on Caesars. I have another play, and it's Rodgers to throw a pick. This is at plus 150. So Rodgers did not have an interception in the last game, but he's got 7 on the season, 3 in that game versus Detroit. All 3 came in the red zone. As I just mentioned in my previous analysis, the Packers will likely rely on the run as much as they possibly can. However, with his injury, look, he still attempted 20 passes last week. So as great as Tennessee is at stopping the run, I do think that Rodgers is likely to need to air this out more than he'd like to, especially in the red zone. There's such good value on this prop that it's definitely worth a sprinkle at plus 150.
Oh, she said worth a sprinkle. Music to my ears here at the early edge. And if you've been watching Aaron Rodgers this year, Katie is spot on. He's been taking extra chances, been throwing things, leaning back. That leads to interceptions, and this Titans defense is really, really good. Love those 2 picks, Katie. Now, while you were so eloquently delivering that to us, the chat was hopping. The chat was hopping. Now, Pooh Bear says, be careful, Coach. Buckets took the Maestro's chair. He may try to host next.
Ooh.
Why do you think Katie's here? When I'm gone, it will be her. Buckets has no shot. And then Buckets says himself, Buckets as a host is a good thought. What? Off the rails. Completely off the rails. But hey, Buckets, at least Katie likes you. Now, Mikey, Buckets also tried to rename this particular time of the show the bucket seat, and I put the kibosh on that. So you, sir, have earned the Maestro spot. So I'm going to get out of the way. Floor is yours.
Yeah, Buckets is all fired up today. Must be because it's Turtleneck Tuesday. But anyways, let's go into a couple of NBA plays for tonight. Let's first go to the Nets and Kings game. I'm going to go Nets over 111.5 points. That's minus 108 on FanDuel. The Kings have the 4th worst defensive rating in the league. They've allowed an average of 116.7 points per game. They've allowed at least 112 points in 5 straight games. The big news for the Nets here is that Seth Curry is probable. He's been key for them with Kyrie Irving out. He started to play more, and he scored at least 22 points in both the last 2 games that he's played in. So we're going to go Nets over 111.5 points. And finally, let's go to the Trailblazers Spurs game. We're going to do Anthony Simons over 19.5 points. That's minus 115 on FanDuel. He scored at least 20 points in 5 of his last 6 games. The one time he didn't during that stretch, he had 19, so it was a near miss. He is a great 3-point shooter. He's averaging 3.8 made threes per game and 10.5 3-point attempts per game. Now, the Spurs have the third worst defensive rating in the league, and they have allowed the second highest 3-point shooting percentage in the league. So let's go Simons over 19.5 points.
It is very clear that the Blazers have taken all of the restrictions off this young kid. And I watch his games all the time out here on the West Coast. This kid is dynamic. And I love this play.
A lot of fun,
isn't he? This is going to be probably in January. You won't be able to touch him for less than 21 or 22 a game. I don't think, right?
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Thank you, Mikey. All right. It's that time of the show. Grab your paper. Grab your pencil. Here is the recap, courtesy of Jake the Snake on the ones and the twos. Let's start with Zach Attack. He's on Dayton. Again, late game tonight, but this is the time of year where there's a lot of tournaments going on, a lot of teams traveling before the Thanksgiving holiday, so there's games all day long. We'll take Dayton, the Flyers, -4.5. Then, as always, Zach supplies us with an early Thursday night football pick. Robert Woods, let's go over 33.5 receiving yards, -103. Then Mikey B, the Nets. Oh, I once played against Jock Vaughn. So seeing him coach the Nets the way that he is, I love it. And the Nets are now playing the way they should have been playing all year. Let's go team total over 111.5 at -108. Then Mr. Simons over 19.5, -115 for the suddenly good Portland Trail Blazers. Then Katie Mox, 2 plays for Thursday night football. Packers Titan. Let's go under 42. As she said, I would encourage you to get it now because it's only going to go down. It's not going to go up. Then Aaron Rodgers. Yes, Aaron Rodgers to throw at least 1 interception, and the number is fantastic at +150. Then one play from SportsLine itself. Maple Leafs on the ice, money line, -115. We try to do as many sports as many times as possible. Remember, later today, early edge in 5 at 4 p.m. Eastern time, and then our NFL Week 11 mega preview with RJ White, Maestro, M Squared, and myself at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. What a good show to start our week. But as you know, there's only one thing left to do. And I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. For my entire crew, love them all. Katie Mox, Mikey B, Zach Attack, Jake the Snake on the ones and the twos. I am the coach. Tell all your friends. You want to have fun. You want to laugh a little bit. You want to learn. You want to start your day off right. There's only one place right here at the early edge. Good luck.